preachers are good storytellers, and storytellers can hold the attention of their audience. Maybe it's because they're really good at oral skills. Maybe it's the content. Maybe it's the prop that they're using that people can see that and relate to. Sometimes when I preach, it's just loaded with scripture, and I just stack scripture on top of scripture on top of scripture to prove and support the point I'm making. I let the scriptures kind of sew together. Sometimes I use a story, a real life story that people can relate to, that they can connect to. Maybe it takes them back to a time. And sometimes I pull out a prop. Um, Sometimes that prop is on stage, and sometimes it's in my hand. And so, uh, here a couple weeks ago, I preached and I used a story of Reggie Jackson, Hall of Fame Major League Baseball player Reggie Jackson. And I was telling the story about Reggie. I put on a ball hat and I put a baseball bat over my shoulder and I had my ball glove on my hand. And people kind of related to that because they'd played little league or high school or college ball. They'd played some softball. They just spent time at the ball field as a kid, and it kind of took them back a little bit. I preached on Jesus turning water into wine, and we know that story, but it's kind of hard to comprehend those cisterns. And so everybody knows what a 5 gallon bucket is. We all have them. They're in our garages and our sheds. And so I stacked all these 5 gallon buckets all over the stage so that people could get a sense of exactly how much water Jesus turned into wine. I did a sermon series and took the stage and just kind of turned it into a living room. There was a bookcase with some family photos, and there was, dad's easy chair and the remote control. And for 2 or 3 weeks I preached that sermon series, I kept making reference back to, this living room setting. And people could relate because everybody has a living room and every dad has an easy chair. And so whether your sermons are just scripture sewn together, or you throw in a story to make a point, or you add a prop, with your eyes wide open, be willing to try different things. Some of it's going to work and people are going to understand it. It's going to relate. Some of it's going to bomb, and that's okay. But I encourage you, as you hone your craft of preaching, be willing to try different and new things, even if it means a ball hat and a bat. Hey, have a great weekend. I love you. I'll see you next time.